Let's talk about those beauty trends that we are told are clean, are minimalist, and are totally of the moment. But these trends might be secretly aging you, especially if you're over 35. Hello, gorgeous girl. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Tracy. I've been a certified personal trainer and Pilates instructor for over 25 years. So I love all things fitness, wellness, lifestyle, beauty, and fashion. So if you're new here, tap on that subscribe button so you never miss out. And for everyone, click on that bell notification so you always know when we have a brand new video that goes live. So let's talk about the clean girl aesthetic. If you've been on social media at all, you probably have heard it, have seen it, even if you're not familiar with that term. So let me just break it down for you. I live in Miami, and if you throw a rock, you will hit probably 100 clean girls on the streets here. It is really characterized by having like a very severe kind of center part that's like very, very clean, right? Having a slick back ponytail or a slick back bun, very minimal, like no makeup, really nicely groomed brows, and definitely wearing a super, super cute matching activewear set, right? Sounds like a dream, right? But if you're over 35, some of the habits that are kind of lumped into this aesthetic might be actually doing more harm than good. So let's dive in. So one thing that's really popular with the clean girl aesthetic is those really beautiful, Instagrammable worthy meals. And intermittent fasting is really kind of the poster child for that clean girl aesthetic. If you are a woman in perimenopause or menopause, and let me remind you, perimenopause might start as early as 10 to 15 years before your final period. This might not be doing such a service to you or your hormones or your health in general. Now, I know there's a lot of conflicting opinions about intermittent fasting. So fasting by nature can spike your cortisol levels, especially if you're skipping breakfast and like not eating till noon, right? But here's the thing that's important. Cortisol is not necessarily a bad thing. We want to have higher cortisol, and we naturally do in the morning. But if you are also skipping breakfast, and especially if you're getting into coffee, we'll get into that in a second, it's kind of like adding gas to the fire and causing even more elevated cortisol levels than we really want or what is optimal for many women. If you've got chronic elevated cortisol, that can lead to unexplained weight gain, some fat, and specifically storage of fat around your midsection when you really haven't changed much of anything else. Chronic elevated cortisol also can lead to muscle loss, which is never a good thing, and also even skin dullness. And that's like part of the whole aesthetic, is having glowy, dewy, kind of glass-like skin, right? So we don't want that. So I did a whole video all about intermittent fasting. You can check it out after this video, but I'm telling you, if your body is screaming no, meaning you're having low energy, you don't feel good, you're starving and you're just forcing yourself not to eat, or you're just noticing some unexplained weight gain or increase in fat around your body, this is likely your body saying, you know what, this might be a clean girl aesthetic, but maybe it's not for you. Next up, let's talk about coffee only on an empty stomach. You will see with the clean girl aesthetic, they're going to the cutest coffee shops all over town and showing their little coffees or their cappuccinos or their iced lattes, right? And it's like a whole vibe, right? But if you don't have any food in your stomach, this is really not a good thing. You know, coffee on an empty stomach can increase irritation on your gut lining because of the acid that is naturally in coffee. And again, it also spikes your cortisol and adrenaline, making you feel wired. You know, listen, I used to do this big time. So guilty, definitely up until I was about 45 years old. So I get it, right? I thought, I kind of like that buzz. I like that little kind of jack up of energy, but that's not healthy, nor is that sustainable. You know, just the other day, I did a photo shoot with a woman who is about 24 years old, super, super sweet. And she was telling me, you know, I have a lot of gut issues and like, you know, I don't often feel good. And I asked her, because we were drinking a coffee, and I said, well, did you eat any breakfast this morning? She's like, no, I never do. I always drink my coffee on an empty stomach. I was like, well, bingo. I was like, even if you put a scoop of protein powder into that coffee, that's going to be at least a little bit better so that you've got something to kind of help with the acid and that spike in the cortisol. Long-term effects of coffee on an empty stomach are you feel anxious, you feel overly stressed. I definitely can attest to this, right? You get that like wired energy, but that's not good, healthy, sustainable energy. And this can also cause that mid-morning fatigue, dull skin, and even skin breakouts, and nobody has time for that, right? Your skin doesn't like to be stressed out before breakfast. Your gut definitely doesn't want to feel that stress before breakfast. So do yourself a favor and have something, even if it's just something light in your system before you go to the coffee. Oh, and bonus points, drink some water. You need to hydrate too. Now, we talked about this one, and this is something that I absolutely love, especially when the hair is dirty. We love the clean girl aesthetic, slick back hair. This is a look that I do all the time. It's usually like day 5, day 6. The blowout starts getting crusty and the dry shampoo is just not giving life anymore. So it's time to use those natural oils in your hair and get that slicked look. It's chic, it's elegant, it's timeless, but if you are slicking back your hair with wet hair, you might be causing way more breakage to your hair. And if we have broken hair, like pieces sticking up all over the place, it's just not cute. Nor is it healthy for your hair. And we see all those images online of the really tightly pulled back ponytail of Bella Hadid or Anne Hathaway, and we think like, ooh, it's like an instant facelift. I know, it's super tempting, but pulling your hair back that tight can not only cause damage and breakage, it can also give you that like kind of ponytail headache, and doing that long-term over time can even cause traction alopecia, which is basically you are pulling that hair back so much you are causing hair loss. So you might not notice it now, but if you are pulling the hair back really slick and you're doing it especially if it's wet, you might see the long-term effects later in your 40s, your 50s, or beyond. So what's a girl to do instead? Like I said, wait till your hair is nice and dirty, okay? It really does help, and I'm telling you, like, on the days when my hair is like a hair wash day or I need it, or even better, if you're applying some hair oil to your scalp, that's the perfect time to do that slick back look, because you're letting those either naturally occurring oils in your hair help you, or the added oils that you've put into your hair. No one knows that you're giving your scalp and your hair a treatment, but you're also getting that beautiful, chic, clean girl aesthetic. So you wanna know what else the clean girl aesthetic often gets wrong? Minimalist skincare. Look, I love a very streamlined skincare system. It's something that I really think is really helpful for your skin, but especially if you're over 40, and girl, I am 50, don't even get me started. You do need to change and adapt your skincare based on your skin's needs and what your goals are at this age and stage. Meaning, you probably need more than just a moisturizer and go. You need some actives, you need some treatments, and especially for me, I talk about this all the time, I love serums. Why do I love serums? I love them because they are easily absorbed into your skin, so you're going to get the benefits of all those actives, and you can also layer them if you've got the right serums. So like I said, you need hydration, you need actives, and you also need to be mindful of what you're actually washing your face with. And no, I'm not talking about the actual cleanser that you're using, I'm talking about your water. Now, I live in Miami, and our water here is known for being pretty bad. Like, I don't drink the tap water when I'm in a restaurant. I will spend the $9, $10 for a bottle of water because I just don't drink it. But think about it, if you're washing your face with it, this is likely not a good thing. Did you know that your tap water could be loaded with skin-damaging contaminants like microplastics or even chlorine? I mean, that's pretty gross, right? That's why I recently started using the Cure faucet filter in my bathroom for when I'm doing my skincare. And it's been one of the easiest upgrades that I've made to my skincare routine. It takes literally 2 minutes to install. You just clip it on, twist the toggle, and you're done. And you can even switch between filtered and unfiltered water. But if you're anything like me, you're gonna always choose the filtered water. Since using it, it's been wild. I've noticed that my skin feels softer. It definitely feels cleaner, but not stripped, which a lot of the times that's what it would feel like for me. I've even noticed that my lips are less chapped and have less like lip wrinkles, which is kind of wild. Oh, and one of the best benefits is that filtered water actually makes your skincare and your actives absorb into your skin even better. Genius, right? So by now, you probably know I'm a huge fan of Cure. I use their red light mask so often. I've been using it for over a year. I love their micro infusion patches. Again, it's my like, look really ugly at night so you look cuter in the morning. And I love their micro infusion system. And this is just another amazing product that they've created to aid us in having the best skin ever. So if you want to check out the Cure faucet filter, I'll leave all the information down below in the description box. I know it seems like, do I really need this? But I'm telling you, You do. It's like kind of a game changer, and there's just been so much research around this. And like I said, like if you live in a place like I do, the water is kind of nasty. So this just gives me that extra layer of protection. Okay, we love that clean girl glow, that glass skin, right? But using heavy oils on your skin, especially if you're over 40, it might be doing more harm than good. And if you're using the wrong oils on your skin, this can really clog your pores, cause cystic pimples, and even make the texture of your skin more visible, which is not the look that we're going for, right? So you want to avoid coconut oil, olive oil, and even some marula oils. And I know, as an Italian American, I'm like, no olive oil, but I actually do not put olive oil on my face. I definitely feel like it's like way too thick. These oils are so thick, they can even trap bacteria, cause milia. If you don't know what milia is, it's like those little kind of bumps, or they might even worsen your breakouts or create them. So don't do that. You know, I remember years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I was trying to use coconut oil on my face, and it definitely caused me to break out like immediately. And I classically have like pretty good skin. So I was just like, okay, it's just, this oil is just not giving for me. So better options are squalane, rosehip seed oil, jojoba. These are lighter and they're more skin compatible and less likely to clog. Oh, and another thing to remember, oils are not primers for your skin or your makeup. In my opinion, it's way too thick, and especially as a 50-year-old woman, if I put oil all over my face and then I put on even a light tinted serum, it's gonna seep into all those wrinkles and it's gonna make them more visible. So that is not good. That is not clean girl. That is like clean old lady, and that's not what we're going for. So I do love face oils, and I love doing a double cleanse, and I love using my gua sha with oil, but at the right time. So in general, I use the oils at night when it's sleepy time, and I'm not putting makeup on top of those oils. A big part of clean girl everything, and I crack up because I see this literally all the time in my neighborhood, are neutral tones everywhere. And don't get me wrong, I love a good neutral moment, but take a look at me. I am a very pale girl. I might not look it right now because I actually have a little bit of a self-tan on, but I have light skin, I have light hair, I have light eyes, and here's the thing, at 50 years old, putting like a taupe or beige outfit all over me is going to wash me out because there's no contrast. We need to have more contrast, especially as we get older. So all those beige tones, they might work if you've got like beautiful, like cinnamon colored toned skin, right? But for those of us that are a little bit paler, it's probably just not the vibe. So what can you do instead? Have some colors that are in the neutral family, but have a little bit more warmth to them, like a light caramelly color, or, you know, a good chocolatey brown, right? You can still have your cute little set, and that's fantastic, but you want to make sure that you're using tones that actually work for you rather than what's of the moment or the aesthetic. Now, do I have any taupe pieces? I absolutely do, but a few things that I have to do, I have to make sure that I'm adding some other color to add some contrast. So number one, a little self-tan always helps. Making sure I have a little lippy on, right? And making sure that I'm spraying my roots a little bit darker just to, again, create some of that contrast in my skin. Now, I have a whole video where I talk about this in greater detail. So after this video, you can check out this video next. So that clean girl aesthetic makeup is that like barely there makeup. It's like the no makeup look, glowing skin, you know, perfectly groomed brows, and maybe just a little bit of a lip balm on your lips, or at least that's what it looks like, right? But again, you might want to add a little bit more because once again, it's that dreaded contrast that goes away. As we get older, we just lose color everywhere. You lose definition in your lips. You start getting more gray hairs. I have so many gray hairs. It's annoying, right? Even my eyebrows are gray. So you want to just add a little bit more contrast. Look, I love a no makeup look, and I love it looking like, I just woke up like this. But the truth be told, even on days when I don't wear any makeup at all, I have to at least fill in my eyebrows because they're just gray. And if I don't do that, then I end up feeling like very, very washed out. You don't need to do a full beat, but just a little bit of strategic definition is gonna do the trick. So you still have that nod to the clean girl aesthetic, but you are a grown woman. So let's talk about Instagrammable eating and Instagrammable meals, or what I like to call strategically starving yourself. Now, I used to be a dancer, and I definitely had disordered eating patterns in my teens and in my 20s, and it took time and practice for me to get to the place that I am now, which is all food is welcome, all food is great. It just depends on what are my choices, what are my goals, and how am I feeling in that moment. But I don't ever think of food as like, oh, I should never eat that, or that's bad, or there's no judgment on food. Now, here's the deal. I see a lot of these young girls just kind of like picking at their food, or, camera eats first. But really, especially here in a city like Miami, it's like you see some of these girls are just like literally not eating. We need fuel. Now, everybody is different, and I really do believe that you know your body best. You want to listen to your own natural hunger cues. Of course, eating really healthy, life-giving foods like lean proteins, fruits and vegetables, making sure you're well hydrated is always going to be a trend and really going to give you the best health ever, right? But be weary of some of these like very pretty foods like green juices, acai bowls, right? Which might be really laden with sugar and all kinds of other junk that you just do not want. And finally, this is the one that just like cracks me up the most. A lot of the clean girl aesthetics, they start with these like really amazing, skincare routines or morning routine, get ready with me, yada, yada, right? And they are using all kinds of facial tools, but without actually knowing how to do them, and some of them are actually causing more harm than good. Now, I just recently did a huge video all about gua sha, and if you want to check that out after this, definitely check it out. It's been one of our most popular videos, and I know that our community is really loving it. And I talk about some of the mistakes that you might be making when you're using a tool like a gua sha. If you're finding that you're getting broken capillaries or even worse, bruising when you gua sha, that's your face saying, hey baby, lay off, go easy. It should be feather light strokes. And I really talk about all of that in that video, so you'll want to check that out next. I've talked about my love for my Cure red light mask, and I love using it, but here's what's really important. You want to do that on a clean face, so make sure you're taking off the makeup and really taking good care of your skin so you're not trapping in bacteria or getting bacteria on your mask. My point is, all these tools are amazing and they're great to add to your arsenal, but if it feels unrealistic or it's not done without the knowledge of what you're doing and how you're supposed to be doing it, you might be causing more harm than good. So if you've been doing all the right things, clean skincare, clean hair, clean minimal makeup, and even dressing that clean girl aesthetic, but something feels off, these might be some of the unexplained reasons. As a 50-year-old woman, I really think it's important to remember, we don't need to do what the 20-year-olds are doing. And especially with, some of these really young girls doing really complicated skincare routines, don't believe everything that you see on social media and use your judgment. That's one of the beautiful things about getting older, is you really start to know yourself and you have that inner confidence that's just so helpful, especially when you let your yes be your yes and your no, even if it's to a trend or an aesthetic, be a no. Now, I love the clean girl aesthetic. I love that look because to me, as a former dancer, it really reminds me of that dancer look. That's why I love the days when I slick back my hair, because it's like I'm back in my roots of dancing. That's what it really reminds me of. But here's the thing. You have to do what's right for you, for your body, and don't follow every single trend that you see on social media, especially if it might be causing harm to you and your health. So that's what I've got for you today. If you found this video helpful, it's so helpful to me, and especially forget about me, my team, the people that work with me that help me produce this free content for you. Give this video a big thumbs up, and please do tap on that subscribe button. It's totally free and it really helps to support my channel. If you want to keep hanging with me here on YouTube, check out this video next, and I'll see you there.